Hello, everyone. Sam Elliott, the iconic cowboy voice of Hollywood, the man whose presence alone could silence a room and whose mustache practically deserved its own screen credit, shocked fans everywhere when, at 80 years old, he finally broke his lifelong silence and revealed the six Hollywood personalities he spent decades avoiding. Six figures whose egos, methods, and behind-the-scenes attitudes clashed so violently with his old-school discipline and ironclad integrity that he quietly vowed never to work with them again. And this revelation opened a window into a side of Elliott few ever saw, because while audiences knew him as the calm, rugged gentleman of the silver screen, behind that cool exterior lived a man who fought his own battles in a cutthroat industry where one wrong collaboration could destroy a reputation forever. The story begins in the early 1970s, when Elliott was still a young actor struggling for recognition, and his first major clash came with a high-profile director whose chaotic improvisational style left Elliott feeling disrespected, humiliated, and out of place. Elliott valued precision, discipline, and preparation, but this director believed in crushing actors to test their instincts, and their tension became so unbearable that Elliott swore he would never again stand on a set with anyone who treated performers like disposable tools. The second conflict emerged with a legendary producer known for explosive temper tantrums, last-minute rewrites, and constant power games that turned what should have been a career-making role for Elliott into a miserable experience, filled with emotional exhaustion and endless fights over creative control. And when the project wrapped, Elliott quietly walked away, refusing several lucrative offers tied to that producer even when he desperately needed the money. The third personality Elliott openly avoided was a major A-list actor whose ego dominated every set he stepped on. He demanded script rewrites to inflate his lines, insisted on reshooting scenes to shift the spotlight back to himself, and constantly belittled co-stars in subtle and cruel ways. And Elliott, a man built on humility and respect, found his behavior intolerable, leading to a silent, career-long vow never to work with him again. The fourth name on Elliott's private list was a writer-director whose heavy-handed political messaging clashed with Elliott's belief that stories should speak for themselves without forcing agendas onto performers or audiences. And after one heated disagreement on set, Elliott declined every future opportunity connected to that filmmaker, even when studios begged him to reconsider. The fifth industry figure Elliott kept at a distance was a powerful studio executive whose obsession with reinventing the Western genre led to years of conflict, because Elliott believed in honoring tradition, authenticity, and the emotional weight of American storytelling, while the executive pushed for flashy, modernized, and often disrespectful representations of the frontier, resulting in an infamous behind-closed-doors confrontation that nearly ended Elliott's career. And the sixth personality, the one that hurt the most, was a former mentor who helped Elliott early in his journey, but later turned into an overbearing critic, dismissing Elliott's loyalty to Westerns, undermining his confidence, and publicly mocking his choices in interviews, leaving Elliott heartbroken and forcing him to cut ties with someone he once admired deeply. And now, at 80, Elliott finally admits that his long silence was not about resentment, but protection. Protection of his craft, his identity, his values, and the legacy he spent decades building. Because while other actors chased fame, roles, and headlines, Elliott sacrificed opportunities, paychecks, and relationships to maintain the integrity that made him a legend, proving that the true story of Sam Elliott is not about hatred, but about the quiet battles he fought to stay true to himself in an industry where authenticity is often the first thing to die. And his revelation at 80 is a rare, raw reminder that even Hollywood's toughest cowboy walked through a world filled with conflict, compromise, and emotional scars the public never saw until now. Thanks for watching.